She texted, "I maxed out your credit card on a girl's trip to Miami. You make enough." I responded, "Glad you had fun." Then I reported the card as stolen and filed a police report with her texts as evidence. When 2 detectives showed up at her workplace, original Post 5 mail got the text at 11:15 a.m. on a Monday while I was in a budget meeting at work. My girlfriend Brianna, 29, had borrowed my backup credit card for emergencies when she started her new job 3 months ago. We'd been together 2 years, living together for the last 8 months in my condo. The text, "Hey babe, had the best weekend in Miami with the girls. Maxed out the card but you make enough lol. Love you." Attached were photos, bottle service at some club, designer shopping bags, first-class plane seats, her and 3 friends popping champagne on a yacht. I stared at my phone under the conference table. The card had a $15,000 limit, my emergency card, for actual emergencies. My response, "Glad you had fun." She sent back heart emojis and, "You're the best." I excused myself from the meeting, went to my office, and pulled up the credit card app. $14,847.23 in charges over 3 days. Nobu Miami, Louis Vuitton, 4 Seasons hotel suite, yacht rental, Dom Perignon at multiple clubs. Here's the thing about Brianna. She made $42 a year as a marketing coordinator. Lived paycheck to paycheck, always talking about manifesting abundance and living her best life. I made decent money as a software engineering manager, but I'm not funding anyone's Instagram fantasy. I scrolled back through our texts, found it. 3 months ago when I gave her the card. Me, "This is only for emergencies, real emergencies." Her, "Of course, baby. I would never abuse this, just for peace of mind." I took screenshots of everything. The original agreement, today's confession, the charges. Then I called the credit card company. "I need to report fraudulent charges on my card." "Sir, do you have the card in your possession?" "No. It was stolen. We'll freeze the card immediately and send you a fraud packet. Will you be filing a police report?" "Absolutely." 20 minutes later, I was at the police station with printed screenshots. The desk sergeant looked at the evidence. She admitted to using the card without authorization. She had authorization for emergencies only. This was clearly not an emergency, and she knew the limit and deliberately maxed it out. According to her own message, yes. He shook his head. "We see this more than you'd think. The detective will want to speak with her." I filled out the report. Fraud over $10,000 is a felony in my state. Went back to work. Turned off my phone. Had 3 more meetings. Acted completely normal. Got home around 6 p.m. Brianna was on the couch, wearing new designer sunglasses, scrolling through her phone. "Hey babe, you're late. I ordered Thai food with my card since yours isn't working for some reason." "Must be a glitch," I said. She chattered about Miami while we ate, the incredible networking opportunities, and how investing in experiences was so important. I nodded along. That night, she tried to get intimate. I claimed I was tired from work, slept on my side of the bed, mentally calculating how to protect my assets. Tuesday morning, left for work early. She was still asleep, probably exhausted from her investment in experiences. Update 1, 3 days later. The detectives moved faster than I expected. Thursday, 2 p.m., my phone exploded. 63 missed calls from Brianna. Texts ranging from, "What the hell? The police are here at my work. Are you serious right now? This has to be a mistake. Call me back now. I'm being arrested. This is insane over a little shopping." Then nothing for 2 hours. Then a call from an unknown number. "Is this Mr. Me?" "Yes. This is Monica, Brianna's friend. She's been arrested for credit card fraud. She said you need to drop the charges immediately." I didn't press charges. I reported fraud. The state pressed charges. "Over a credit card you gave her? Are you insane?" "I gave her a card for emergencies. She spent $15,000 on bottle service and designer bags. She's your girlfriend. Was. Past tense." "You're seriously gonna ruin her life over money? You make 6 figures. And she makes $42,000 but spent $15,000 in a weekend. That's called theft." Monica went on a rant about how I was controlling, abusive, petty, and would die alone. I hung up. The calls started flooding in. Her mom, Deborah, her sister Alexis, friends I'd never even met, all with the same script. How could I do this? "It's just money. I'm ruining her life. I need to fix this." My response to everyone: she stole $15,000 and admitted it in writing. This is a legal matter now. Got home to find Brianna's stuff still there but her car gone. She'd been released on her own recognizance but hadn't come home. That evening, Alexis showed up at my door with 2 guy friends, big dudes, trying to look intimidating. "We need to talk," she said. "No, we don't. You're trespassing. Leave now or I call the police." One of the guys stepped forward. "Just hear her out, man." I held up my phone, already recording. "I have cameras all over this building. You're on them right now. Leave, now." They exchanged looks and left, but not before Alexis said, "You have no idea who you're messing with." I deadbolted the door and called my lawyer buddy Tom. "I need a restraining order and an eviction notice drafted." "What's the lease situation?" "She's not on it. Month-to-month tenant at best. I'll have both ready tomorrow." That night I installed an extra door camera and changed my door code, moved her stuff into boxes in the living room, found a notebook while packing. She'd written manifestation goals on the cover. Inside, vacation to Miami, check. Get Brandon to pay off my student loans. My name is Brandon. Move into a luxury apartment. Convince B to propose by end of year. I photographed every page. Update 2, 1 week later. Brianna tried the emotional manipulation route hard. She showed up Sunday morning looking deliberately disheveled. No makeup, messy hair, sweatpants, crying before I even opened the door. "Please, Brandon, please, I'm sorry, I got carried away. I'll pay it all back." "How? You make $42 a year and have $30 in student loans. I'll get a second job. I'll sell my stuff. Please don't let them prosecute me. I could go to prison over a mistake." Stealing $15,000 isn't a mistake, it's a crime. "I didn't steal it. You gave me the card. For emergencies. You knew that. You admitted knowing that in your text." She switched tactics. "I've been so depressed. The pressure from social media. Everyone's living these amazing lives and I just wanted to feel special for once. I think I need therapy, not jail." "You can get therapy. Jail has counselors. How can you be so cold? We lived together. We talked about marriage." "You talked about marriage. Specifically, about me proposing by year's end according to your manifestation journal." Her face went white. "You went through my stuff? While packing it, it's in boxes by the door. You have 72 hours to get it per the eviction notice." She lost it. Full screaming meltdown on my doorstep. "You're a monster, a petty, vindictive monster. I hope you die alone. No woman will ever love you." The neighbors came out. I stayed calm, recording everything on my phone. "Brianna, you need to leave. The restraining order paperwork is filed. If you don't leave, I'll call the police." "Call them. Tell them how you're ruining my life over nothing." Mrs. Patterson from next door piped up. "Honey, you just admitted to stealing his credit card on his doorstep camera. You should probably stop talking." Brianna spun around. "Mind your own business, you old bat." "Old bat who used to be a prosecutor," Mrs. Patterson said cheerfully. $15,000 in credit card fraud? That's prison time, sweetheart." Brianna ran to her car and peeled out. Monday brought the escalation. Her mom, Deborah, called my office. Got through to my boss by claiming to be a client. "Your employee Brandon is destroying my daughter's life. He's vindictive and abusive." My boss called me in. I showed him the police report and texts. "Jesus, 15 grand in Miami? Is she insane?" "Apparently. Take the day if you need to deal with this." "I'm good. Work keeps my mind off it." But Deborah wasn't done. She posted on the company's Facebook page, Google reviews everywhere. "Brandon last name is an abuser who preys on young women." HR had to get involved. I provided all documentation. They sent Deborah a cease and desist. Tuesday, Brianna's lawyer contacted me. Not a criminal lawyer, some personal injury ambulance chaser she found. "My client is willing to settle this matter civilly. She'll agree to pay back $5,000 over 2 years if you drop the criminal charges." I can't drop charges I didn't file. The state filed them based on her written confession. "You reported it because she stole $15,000. She's facing 5 to 10 years in prison." Should have thought about that before the yacht rental. "You're being unreasonable. She's young. She made a mistake. She's 29, not 19. And it wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate theft." He tried several more angles. I hung up. Wednesday, the real entertainment started. Brianna went on social media with her version of events. "My controlling ex-boyfriend is trying to destroy my life. I used a credit card he gave me and now he's having me arrested. This is what happens when you date insecure men who can't handle successful women living their dreams. Abuser, narcissistic abuse, toxic masculinity. The comments were mixed. Her friends rallied around her, but then someone asked, "How much did you charge?" She didn't answer. Someone else found the public arrest record. $15,000? Girl. The tide turned fast. People started calling her out. She deleted the post, but screenshots were already circulating. Update 3, 2 weeks later. The preliminary hearing was yesterday. Brianna showed up in a suit that was obviously new, probably borrowed from Alexis, trying to look professional and remorseful. The prosecutor laid out the case. Defendant was given a credit card for emergencies only. Text evidence shows she understood this limitation. Defendant spent $14,847.23 on luxury goods and services. Defendant admitted via text to maxing out the card. Defendant showed no remorse, saying victim makes enough. Brianna's public defender tried arguing she had implied permission to use the card. The judge looked at the texts. "Miss Rodriguez, did you write maxed out the card but you make enough lol?" "Yes, but..." "Did Mr. Me give you permission to spend $15,000? "Not explicitly, but it's a yes or no question." "No." "Did you believe this was an emergency expense?" "I was having a mental health crisis." "A mental health crisis that required bottle service and Louis Vuitton?" Her lawyer whispered frantically in her ear. The judge continued, "I'm moving this forward to trial." Bail continued on personal recognizance. "Miss Rodriguez, you might want to consider a plea deal." Outside the courthouse, Deborah was waiting with a gaggle of Brianna's friends. They tried to approach me. My lawyer, hired him officially now, stepped between us. "No contact. There's a restraining order." Deborah shouted over him. "You're destroying her future. She'll lose her job. She'll have a record over money you can afford to lose." My lawyer responded calmly. "Ma'am, your daughter stole $15,000. The victim's income is irrelevant to the crime." One of Brianna's friends, Jessica, yelled, "She was just trying to live a little. He's acting like she murdered someone." My lawyer, "Felony theft is a serious crime. Perhaps your friend should have considered that before committing it." We walked away to a chorus of profanity. That afternoon, I got a call from Tom, lawyer buddy, not my official lawyer. "Heads up, Brianna's been fired." "What? How do you know?" "My paralegal's sister works at her company. Apparently they found out about the arrest when she didn't show up Monday. Then they found she'd been expense reporting personal lunches as client meetings. She was stealing from her job too?" "Small amounts, but yeah, they're not pressing charges, just terminating with cause. No unemployment." Jesus. Gets better. Remember the yacht rental? She put it on the card but told her friends you were paying. They're now expecting her to pay them back for their shares. How much? About $3,000. They're threatening small claims court. I couldn't help but laugh. The house of cards was collapsing. Thursday, Brianna tried one last manipulation. She had Alexis text me. New number got around the block. "Bree tried to hurt herself. She's in the hospital. This is on you." I didn't respond, but I did call the hospital. No patient by her name. Called the local PD for a wellness check at Alexis's apartment. Officer called me back. "She's fine. Watching Netflix." Seemed confused about why we were there. I forwarded that information to my lawyer to add to the harassment documentation. Update 4, 1 month later. The plea deal negotiations were something. Brianna's public defender reached out to the prosecutor. She was willing to plead to a misdemeanor with community service. Prosecutor laughed. Counteroffer: plead guilty to felony theft, 2 years probation, full restitution, 200 hours community service. She refused. Wanted to go to trial. Her lawyer tried to talk sense into her. Meanwhile, the civil lawsuit from the credit card company hit. They wanted their $14,847.23 back, plus interest, plus legal fees. She was served at Alexis's apartment. Alexis called me from yet another new number. "You need to stop this. Bree can't handle it. She's talking about leaving the country." That would violate her bail conditions. "She's desperate. Just tell them you gave her permission." That would be perjury. "You're such a piece of shit. You have the money. Had. Past tense. Spent it on a lawyer to deal with your family's harassment." She hung up. Next day, Brianna did something spectacularly stupid. She went on a podcast, some small empowerment podcast hosted by her friend Nicole. titled When Love Turns to Legal Warfare, My Story. She told her version for 45 minutes, how I was controlling, how I financially abused her by making her feel bad about not earning as much, how the Miami trip was her reclaiming her power, how I was weaponizing the legal system. Then Nicole asked, "But did you have permission to use the card for the trip?" Brianna paused. "He gave me the card. That's permission. For anything." "Well," he said, "emergencies, but self-care is an emergency. Mental health is health." "So you didn't have explicit permission for the Miami trip?" "Nicole, whose side are you on? I'm just trying to understand. I'm done with this interview." She stormed off. The podcast went viral in our local area. The prosecutor added it to evidence. Her public defender dropped her, said she was actively harming her own defense. She had to get another one. The Instagram influencer lifestyle she was trying to portray crumbled fast. The friends from Miami distanced themselves. The yacht rental company was pursuing her for additional damages. Apparently, there was champagne damage to the deck. Even her manifestation coach, yes, she paid someone for that, dropped her as a client. But the best part? Remember those designer items she bought? She tried to return them. Stores wouldn't take them back because she'd worn them and posted photos. She tried selling them online. Listed a $3,000 Louis Vuitton bag for $2,800. Someone commented, "Isn't this the bag you stole with your ex's credit card?" The listing got reported and removed. Update 5. 6 weeks later, trial got scheduled for next month, but Brianna finally cracked. Her new lawyer, a tired-looking public defender named Mr. Fredericks, called mine. She wants to take the plea, any plea. She can't do this anymore. The final deal, guilty plea to felony theft, 3 years probation, $14,847.23 restitution to the credit card company, 300 hours community service, felony reduced to misdemeanor after successful completion of probation. She had to allocute, admit in detail what she did in court. Standing there in front of the judge, her family, and a half-full courtroom, she had to say, "I used a credit card that wasn't mine to make unauthorized purchases totaling $14,847.23. I knew I didn't have permission for these purchases. I did it anyway." The judge asked, "Do you understand you're pleading guilty to a felony?" "Yes." "Do you understand this will be on your record?" "Yes." "Do you understand you'll have to pay full restitution?" Her voice cracked. "Yes." The gavel came down. Convicted felon. Outside the courthouse, Deborah tried one more time. "I hope you're happy. You destroyed her life." "No, ma'am. She destroyed her own life. I just refused to let her destroy mine too." Brianna wouldn't even look at me. She was already on her phone, probably trying to figure out how to spin this for social media. The aftermath was swift. She couldn't get a job anywhere that ran background checks. Had to move back in with Deborah, set up a payment plan for restitution. Anthony, $200 a month for roughly 6 years. Started her community service at a local food bank. The friends from Miami sued her in small claims court and won. Another $3K she owed. The yacht rental company got a judgment against her for $5 in damages. Her Instagram went from 10K followers to 2K. Then she made it private, then deleted it entirely. Final update, 3 months later. I thought I was done updating, but the final chapter is too perfect not to share. Last week, I got a notification that someone tried to use my information to open a new credit card. Yeah, she tried it again. This time she apparently had gotten hold of an old pay stub from when we lived together and tried to use my SSN and income info to apply for a card in my name. The application was flagged because I'd frozen my credit after the initial incident. The credit card company called me to verify. I went straight to the police. Again, this violated her probation. Big time. Yesterday was her probation violation hearing. She tried to claim it was a misunderstanding, that she thought she was applying for her own card and accidentally used my information. The judge pulled up the application. She'd put her name as an authorized user on an account in my name. "Miss Rodriguez, you're asking this court to believe that you accidentally memorized your ex-boyfriend's social security number and accidentally entered his annual income instead of yours?" I was confused. Confused? You listed his employer, his exact salary, his birth date. Her lawyer just shook his head. The judge revoked her probation, sentenced her to 18 months in minimum security prison. She'll serve probably 8 to 12 with good behavior. Deborah screamed. Alexis cried. Brianna fainted. Actually fainted. As court officers helped her up to take her into custody, she looked at me with pure hatred. You destroyed my life over money. The judge interjected. No, Miss Rodriguez, you destroyed your life over money. Money that wasn't yours. She was led away in handcuffs. Deborah followed me to the parking lot, keeping her legal distance but screaming. She made one mistake. 2 mistakes, I corrected. She tried to steal from me twice. 15,000 is nothing to you. It's not about the amount, it's about the principle. You have no principles, you're vindictive. I'm vindictive. Your daughter stole from me, got caught, faced consequences, and then tried to steal from me again. But I'm the bad guy? She had no response to that. Just stood there, crying and shaking. I got in my car and drove away. Felt nothing but relief. Tom called me later that evening. You know Alexis posted about you again? Don't care. She's calling you a class traitor for sending Brianna to prison. Class traitor? Her family has more money than mine. They just refuse to pay for Brianna's BS. Yeah, apparently Deborah has a healthy retirement fund, but wouldn't cover the restitution because Brianna needs to learn. Learn in prison, I guess. The truth is, I could have absorbed the 15K loss. It would have hurt, but I could have managed. But that was never the point. The point was that she felt entitled to steal from me because I made enough. She believed my success meant she could treat me like an ATM. And when caught, instead of showing remorse, she tried to manipulate, threaten, and harass me into compliance. Then she tried to steal from me again. My new girlfriend, yes, already, met her at a cybersecurity conference, asked if I felt guilty about Brianna going to prison. No, I feel guilty. It took me 2 years to see who she really was. Would you do anything differently? Yeah. I'd have never given her the credit card in the first place. We're taking a trip to Costa Rica next month. Separate credit cards, separate rooms until we get more serious. Clear boundaries from day one. Brianna's friends still occasionally try to contact me through fake profiles. The messages range from calling me heartless to begging me to help with her commissary fund. I block them all. The credit card company sent me a letter. They're pursuing the criminal restitution through the court. I'll probably never see that money again, but that's fine. The 15K was worth the education. Expensive lesson, but learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Entitlement doesn't go away, it escalates. You make enough is code for, I deserve your money. Never, ever give someone access to your finances unless you're married, and even then, be careful. Document everything. To those saying I went too far, she stole $15,000, admitted it, showed no remorse, and then tried to steal more while on probation. I didn't go far. The law did exactly what it's supposed to do. Brianna, if you're reading this from your minimum security cell, that manifestation journal you kept, you manifested this. Congratulations.